Welcome to Kid Power's 8th annual Taste of the Garden event. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andrea Tobin, Executive Director of Kid Power. And for those of you who don't quite understand Kid Power yet, here's a quick, brief introduction. At Kid Power, we serve over 1,000 young people in the district. Our mission is to inspire youth leadership by promoting academic excellence, physical and emotional wellness, and positive civic engagement in underserved communities throughout the district. How do we do that? We are constantly innovating and adapting to meet these really real, critical needs facing our young people. We have our Academic Power Hour. We have our Veggie Time program, which you'll see spotlighted here tonight. We're teaching young people about health and nutrition and having them apply it to youth gardens at their schools, cooking classes at school, and even welcoming their families into cooking lessons. We also have our citizenship enrichment, where young people are not only learning about their rights and responsibilities as citizens, but applying that to real debate, using critical thinking skills, to student government, understanding what real leadership looks like, and even improving their communities through service learning. It's not enough just to tell young people that they can be agents of change. They need to see it and feel it. So our young people are out there making a difference every day in their communities. We also have Art with a Purpose. We're giving young people an opportunity to help learn about emotional regulation and learn about mindfulness, something we can all benefit from through art. We also have STEM. We know our young people learn best when they can be hands-on and thinking critically. One of the things that all of these programs have in common is that they're hands-on and they apply lessons to real-world experiences, and we let young people learn with their peers. This is how young people learn best. So as you can imagine, this pandemic has created so many challenges for our young people. We're not giving them the tools and opportunities they need to learn best. And so we are delivering supplies to our young people. We are meeting them where they are. We are constantly innovating so that our young people can keep learning. We are helping them practice mindfulness so that all this anxiety that's going on right now and all this disconnectedness from our schools and feelings of uncertainty can be mitigated through these real relationships and through knowing that someone's there and supporting them. And tonight, we're taking our normal hands-on Taste of the Garden event, and we are doing our best to make sure that you have a positive experience tonight and that you feel that you're learning and that you're inspired. So normally we have our kids working alongside with our celebrity chefs, and tonight we're bringing you this experience virtually. And so we really hope you have fun, that you're inspired, and that you feel that Kid Power spirit, that you can do anything, we can innovate, we can troubleshoot, we can come together, and we can make sure that we're making an impact. So I hope you enjoy tonight. Chef Robbie is a Kid Power board member and also a dear friend. He is creative, he is generous, and he is one of the most wonderful people you'll ever meet. Today, we are so honored that he's agreed to welcome our Kid Power instructors and volunteers into his kitchen so that you can experience him in action. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. He is incredibly talented, and I hope you enjoy this.
Hi, I'm Nick Bair. I've been a mentor at Mentors Inc. at Kid Power for 2 years. And my wife Liz, she has also been a mentor at Mentors Inc. during the same time period. My protege is Timmy Tayo. He is now he's a junior in school. He just started last week. He's awesome. He is literally the most kind, positive, thoughtful person I've ever met in my life. We have had some awesome experiences together the last couple years. We've gone to baseball games, we've gone to museums, we've volunteered together. One really great memory I have, since we were first paired together, he refused to ride the metro. He would always ride share, he would take the bus or even walk, anything except ride the metro. So finally, after weeks of planning and discussion, he agreed to take the metro to meet me at the Smithsonian to see some monuments and museums in DC. And I just remember that day, he came up the stairs of the Metro with a big smile on his face. I could just see the confidence in his eyes. And since then, he's been an avid Metro rider. And I still hear him tell other people about how he would have never taken the Metro if it wasn't for me. And while this seems like a small thing, I really think it's these little victories that is really the key to a mentor relationship. Someone like me can give him new experiences or new challenges that he might not ever have to encounter in his normal daily life. And really seeing him grow in maturity and confidence these past few years has probably been the best part of the relationship. Even though I'm the mentor, I feel like I really have learned a lot from my protege. He's taught me new cultures, new life experiences, new activities that I've never come across before. And even aside from that, just his general outlook on life, his positive attitude, has really changed me. It's made me more positive as a person and not dwell on the negatives or the other things that might get in the way. Anyone who has the time and energy and the inspiration to become a mentor, definitely become a mentor. Just know it is a sacrifice. You know, it's a time commitment for one thing, and also you're going to be a human in a person's life, especially a young person. So you really have to make sure that you're ready for that. But I would tell anybody who's thinking about it that they should definitely do it.
Welcome everyone. My name is Chef Robert Wood with Eco Caters, and we're excited to be with you tonight for the Taste of the Garden Gala for Kid Power. I'm here with Brittany from Kid Power.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And what do you do with Kid Power exactly?
I'm an instructor at Kid Power.
Okay, so you work with the kids on a daily basis.
Yes, after school programming.
After school programming, such an amazing program. So tonight we are making an entire menu of carrots. You know, 30% of the food that we produce goes in the trash can. So we've actually created a soup out of the peelings from the carrot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we peeled carrots earlier. We'll use the other part of the carrot later on in our entree and then in dessert. Dessert's made out of carrots too. Our pan's already preheated over here, right? So we're gonna start with a little bit of oil. So tell me about your day with Kid Power. Tell me about, you know, what you're doing with the kiddos.
So in after school programming, our main focus is just helping the kids with whether it be their homework. We like to do our lessons with them that focus on social and emotional wellness. We do civic engagement with the kids. We've done service learning projects with them. We really just want them to use their voice and learn how to use their voice in a productive way so they can best help serve their communities.
No, absolutely, absolutely. They don't, you know, somebody's got to show them that their voice matters.
Yes, and that's what we do.
So we're starting with our onions first, okay? Then I added a pinch of salt. So anytime we add a nice aromatic ingredient, so we got garlic, we're gonna add a pinch of salt. I'm gonna flip that around, and we're gonna add some ginger in there as well. We got it over about a medium heat right now. And then we're gonna add in our carrot peelings, okay?
Okay.
So here, why don't you do that?
Okay, just sprinkle them in?
Yeah. Go ahead and add a pinch of salt. Because again,
Just a pinch?
yep, we just wanna, yeah, just get your pinchers in there. And then, so we want it to come together. It'll start to bring all those flavors together. Don't be afraid, it's all right. The soup itself is gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan. It's all those fun buzzwords we hear nowadays. But it's sustainable because we're starting with those carrots.
Yes.
You get to interact with the Veggie Time programming at all?
Once a week, the Veggie Time teacher will come into the classroom after school programming. Yeah, the kids love it. It's one of the most exciting parts of after school programming because the Veggie Time teacher is also in the daytime school, so the kids are familiar with this teacher.
Nice, that helps. That helps.
Definitely.
And do you think like a recipe like this would go over well in the Veggie Time class?
Definitely. Yes.
I think the kids would get behind it because it would be neat and different and
They would love it.
and I would give them a hard time and be like, look, we're gonna eat the trash. Ah.
I was going to say, teaching them about sustainability is very important, and so I think incorporating this lesson into the curriculum would be beneficial because they could take this home too and show their families what they've learned. Because
Whole vegetable cooking. All right, so we're getting a nice sizzle there. We're gonna
I see.
add in
Add
some
the
water.
water.
So again, we're just adding enough water to kind of give us the ability to soften up our carrots. As we let that cook up a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning up our spices. So again, turmeric, like we talked about before, curry powder, a nice big pinch of coriander. You add black pepper, it takes the effectiveness of turmeric up 10 times. All right, how's that coming? It smells pretty good.
Smells amazing.
What's the name of the school that you're dedicated to?
Jefferson.
Oh,
This year.
Jefferson.
Yes,
Jefferson.
I was there last year as well, in a different role, but this year I'm excited to be back in the classroom with the kids.
Nice.
We're going to be virtual starting.
The KP Connect was amazing to see how quickly and how just like fluidly Kid Power was able to roll out KP Connect
The transition
in the middle of a crisis. It was super impressive.
Everyone is in this time where we don't really know what to expect, but just the fact that the kids are continuing to log on, they're continuing to do their schoolwork and their homework, they're continuing to reach out with us, we're still having that relationship with our families. I just think it's amazing.
The board of directors, which I sit on and have for a while, we were all very impressed at y'all's ability to really pivot and just to keep a smile on your face while everything was going on around you. So kudos to that. Why don't you pour about half of that into our soup?
Just half?
Yeah, let's start with half. It's our coconut milk. Let me see. So we're gonna let that go for a minute. I like to wait on the coconut milk and then just let it simmer for another 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take that right over here to our trusty Vitamix and puree it up, and we'll be in good shape. There we go. Crank it up. And then, yep, and then puree it. And I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of extra coconut milk. All right, and now, let's see. Looks pretty good.
Amazing.
So, came out pretty delicious.
It smells so good.
So we'll do a little bit of Thai basil here. Now, you can grab one of those spoons and enjoy.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, thank you for all your help today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So that was carrot peel soup, and
Amazing.
this is Brittany from Kid Power. I'm Chef Robbie.
Don't forget to vote for our soup.
My name is Andrea Tucker. I am a native Washingtonian. I am a resident of the Great Ward 8. I have 3 children in DC Public Schools, and I'm also a DC Public School alumni. I am an active parent, I'm part of the PTA, and I'm also a member of the PAVE Advocacy Committee. And so Kid Power has taught my kids a great deal as far as being independent thinkers, eating healthy. They had a lot of programs that dealt with how to make fresh vegetables, grow vegetables, make guacamole and things like that. So my kids were excited because it's something that they wouldn't ordinarily see in a regular after school program. And it just boosted their self-confidence and their self-esteem. So I was glad to see that as a parent. So it's been difficult, to say the least, to transition from school to now we're in this virtual world and we're online. I won't say as a parent it's been easy because it's been rough. My kids have normally used to going out, used to going to school, used to be with their friends, used to have their after school program. And they were really looking forward to going back to Kid Power's program this summer as well because they do a lot of interactive activities. But I was glad to see that Kid Power had a virtual program that still gave them something this summer. And they bought Supply Smiles twice. So my kids could be interactive, and it was excellent program, I would say, because they had the adults in the classroom with them. They did virtual field trips, so it was still interactive and engaging for my kids, and my kids loved it. They were upset it was only an hour and a half. For Kid Power to put that type of quality program together in such a short amount of time, I loved it, and I think that all parents will love it because it was great and it was engaging, and to have kids who are preteens actually sit down and pay attention to what's going on and be engaged, that was something. So I love Kid Power still. And what I really appreciated is the consistency. My kids, I have 3 kids who've been in the program over the duration of 4 years. So they got to really know the counselors, and the same counselors that were in the summer program were actually in their school. So it's kind of like they knew the kids, they knew their behaviors, so they kind of treated them like they were their own. And I really appreciated that, because if something went wrong, they were able to tell me, or they were able to diffuse it themselves because they know the kids and they were used to them. So I appreciated that a lot. My kids love Kid Power, and they're going to be so excited to learn that they can stay in into the 12th grade and still be active in it, because they've learned a great deal and so much from Kid Power.
Well, Kid Power makes me a better leader because it helps me be more responsible. And when we talk about class president and government, it makes me more respectful and responsible in life.
Because we're kind, smart, hardworking, and we do everything we can to push through. Yes. Super sweet. I can't wait to have it as a super. A gala apple is super red. I can't just wait, I will eat it in my bed.
My favorite activity is veggie time because we get to learn about the garden and how to keep our environment and our community safe and clean.
Yeah, good job now. So how's that going? Boom, boom, got it. Good job. Why would you do that? No, you're not.
My leadership traits are friendly, honest, responsible, helpful, and brave.
I love veggie time!
I hope you're enjoying watching the cooking demos so far. I personally love seeing our students' faces light up and love seeing things in action. So I was really pleased to get a message the other night on Facebook from one of our former students. She took a picture of her Kid Power certificate and said that she was moving and she found it and she was really excited to show it to me. And she was flooded with memories of Kid Power. We ended up getting into a Facebook message dialogue. She's now 20, and this certificate was given to her when she graduated in 5th grade. She was telling me about how it has been so long since she's been part of Kid Power, but she often thinks about how Kid Power made her feel, how Kid Power always believed in her, and how wherever she is, she remembers that feeling that she had, that feeling of love and that feeling of support. And it got me thinking, especially now more than ever, impact matters. What we do every day for our young people, with our young people, matters. It leaves a lasting impact. Right now, a lot of us, if you're like me, you're feeling so many things that are out of your control. You're feeling exhausted, you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling like there's so little we can do. And so I just wanted to stop and talk about how we can make a difference and how we can impart lasting change. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about that value of empathy. As we're all going through these really hard times, we know that all of us are struggling. We know that kids need school. We know that kids need their friends and need these social outlets. But we also know that there's a huge equity issue here in the district. We know that young people facing trauma are more likely to have learning gaps, behavior challenges, and mental health challenges, far outside those who have that safety net. And what we're finding here in the district, so many schools are unable to reach students, unable to connect, unable to even get parents and students on the phone. And so right now, what we're doing, going out into the community, knocking on doors, that matters. And ways that we can connect to each other in this time are so important. It's going to be increasingly important now that we're connected digitally and not really face to face. I don't know if you've heard about the empathy decreasing here. It's not anecdotal. There's scientific research. I actually started researching this and it got me really depressed, so I stopped. One study showed that from 1979 to 2009, empathy levels had decreased by 48%. Another researcher found that among college students, our current college students are displaying 30% less empathy than they did 20 years ago. There's so many reasons for this, the rise of narcissism, but also just technology. And the less that we're seeing people face to face and the less that we're connecting, it's really easier not to feel. And so a lot about what Kid Power does is building that empathy. A lot of times when we disagree with someone or can't see their point of view, it's easy just to dismiss. But we come so much further when we just step back and understand why they're making that decision, understanding what is driving them. And I have found that our kids, we can decrease bullying, we can increase creative solutions, not just in our young people, but for ourselves. And so I've challenged myself to be more empathetic. I've also heard that, you can't teach empathy to young children. And I kind of used to believe that until I have kids of my own, and I was sitting down reading with my 4.5-year-old, and we're reading Superman. And the very first page is Superman has to go down to the planet because the planet blows up and his parents die. And my 4.5-year-olds can't even get to the next page about Superman. He's so visibly upset that Superman lost his parents. And so I think that there's no age that's too young to start teaching our young people about how our actions influence others and how our other people are feeling. And so today I want to honor folks that have really, really inspired me to think outside of ourselves and to connect with others. We're so excited to present a new award in that spirit of thinking outside of ourselves and being a true leader, our Community Hero Award. We're presenting this to Miss Joanne Odom, someone who we read the story, and all of us at Kid Power were so inspired. I was inspired how we can step outside of ourselves and do what's best and keep digging and never take no for an answer. So Miss Joanne Odom, we are so pleased to give you this award tonight. Your title, Program Administrator at Georgetown MedStar Pediatrics Divisions. We know you do a lot of work on policy, crunching numbers, finding out community-based solutions for health for our young people, particularly our most vulnerable in Wards 7 and 8 throughout the district. But what makes you so special and what truly inspires us is that you know that no system is going to work unless it works for all young people. We can't have one young person falling through the cracks. We need to reach out and make sure that what we're doing is serving everyone, and how can we get the community together to reach those most vulnerable young people. And so today, I'd like to honor Joanne Odom with our Community Hero Award.
Thank you, Andrea Tobin and the entire Kid Power team for this recognition. I am truly humbled and honored to accept the 2020 Community Hero Award. I am honored to be in the same category of so many other people who do amazing work in service to the Washington, D.C. community. For the last 17 years, I've worked with an amazing group of people who maintain the commitment to ensuring access and equity to health and wellness services for vulnerable children in DC. In the last couple of months during the pandemic, it's been especially obvious that the critical nature for our interventions are more important than ever. On March 13th, immediately we stopped and we had to think about what would the quarantine, what would this pandemic mean for our population? We knew immediately that going home didn't mean the same thing for everyone. And collectively, our team had to really think about what that would mean for the families and the children who we'd built such sustaining relationships with. Our schools were closing. Our schools are safety nets for our kids. They're a place where we've built relationships. We've implemented our health and wellness programs. And with the collective team, we sat down and really thought about how we could help our families weather this storm, whether it was for a week or what has since turned out to be 6 months. And I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. I'm really honored for the recognition of the impact that it's having on so many children and families' lives. I accept this award on behalf of my entire team, the Division of Community Pediatrics. The community hero in this sense is a group of people who are really committed and working tirelessly, and I have the opportunity to work alongside these dedicated individuals who allow me to challenge the ideas, to push us all a little bit further, to do a little bit more for the families that we serve. And we're all better for it. We're all stronger for it. As a result, we've really learned to understand our own resilience and how to translate that to our families so that they're more resilient, they're able to elevate their voices and master whatever challenges that the next couple of months will bring. So again, I am honored to be recognized for this work. I thank the committee for acknowledging this work and seeing the value in what we do and the value in my role in this. And I am so honored and excited to see where we can go next to support families. I think, the hidden heroes are the people who are very often have the boots on the ground. They're in the weeds, they're doing the work, and they don't always see the impact, the broader impact the work that they're doing is having, not just on the lives of their clients, but on the lives of their clients' communities, their families, and the community partners who they also work with to do that work. So that's something that I say is really important for all of us to remember, that even if you never have your name on a plaque or if there isn't a designated award, just know that the value of what you're doing is insurmountable for the lives of the people who you're touching every day.
My name is Felicity Poussaint. I'm 25 years old, and I am a Kid Power alumni. I became connected to Kid Power in 2004 through the after-school program at Minor Elementary School. My fondest memories of Kid Power as a child are definitely the service trips that we went on. We went on one to the Dominican Republic, and that was to raise money to help youth artists with art supplies. We went to Chicago, and that one was to help women at a domestic abuse shelter. And then we also went to New Orleans, which we helped children who were affected by Katrina. So during those service trips, I just really learned about giving back and community engagement and why it's so important. Kid Power prepared me for college and beyond because I was in my first 2 plays in Kid Power, Antigone and The Wiz. I feel like I got bit by the theater bug in Kid Power, so that really carried me through high school and college because I got instilled with that passion here. And also, community engagement is something that is so important to Kid Power, and it's something that's so important to me. When I went to college, I joined a theater troupe for women of color, and we wrote poems and we wrote our own shows, and we performed during protests for the murder of Mike Brown. Being in Kid Power really taught me that you have to give back, and I love to use my art for a good cause and use my art to affect change in my community. After I graduated from Emerson, I decided to come back home to DC. I love it here and I love my community, and I wanted to find ways to support my community. And Andrea reached out to me one day and we had a lunch because I've known her forever. So we were just catching up, and I was telling her about Emerson and my experiences there. And she was talking to me about how she really wanted to have an alumni program for Kid Power. And I instantly knew that it was something I wanted to be a part of. Throughout middle and high school, I always wanted to come back to Kid Power and do things with Kid Power. But it was difficult because it's an after-school program. So I am really excited now because we have merged with Mentors Inc., which is a one-to-one community-based mentoring program that serves middle and high school students in grades 8 through 12. So I am so excited to be the program coordinator for this program. So this is just such a great way for our alumni to be able to stay engaged, and our kids that are in after school right now to know that they can stay with Kid Power until they graduate from high school. Kid Power means so much to me today, me and my family. My mom served on the board for a few years, and I've been in Kid Power. I've been in after school, I've been a camp counselor, I work here now. And Kid Power is like a second home to me. It truly is a place where I've learned and grown, and just, I love Kid Power so much.
Welcome back to the Superfood and Eco Cater's kitchen. Here we are in our next step on our carrot meal. So first thing we did was a carrot peel soup. This time we're gonna make peas and carrots. So we're gonna dress it up with some Moroccan chicken, and that's gonna be our entree. I wanna introduce everybody to Marquise.
I work through AmeriCorps, so that means I have like a year of service. My job is making sure that our classes run smoothly, running through lesson plans and curriculum, and day-to-day interactions with parents and students.
In Moroccan cuisine, they make a spice blend called Ras Al Hanout, and that's what this is. We make it in-house, but it's cinnamon and coriander and some other spices. It's a really fun flavor, and so that's gonna be the base for our Moroccan chicken. We're gonna add some salt, and then I'm gonna, just smash them in there really, really well, and then a little bit of oil, all right? So last session we were making a soup. We did sweating, which was a low heat. This time we're sauteing our chicken, which means a high heat, all right? So when you get that, nice char on the grill and stuff like that, it's developed all that flavor. So that's why it's so much more satisfying. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some onions. We're also gonna add some garlic there in just a minute. And this is gonna be how we braise our chicken. I'm just gonna move these guys out of my pan, see that? Yeah. Nice color. I want you to put this flour in, and then we're gonna add our chicken stock. Now what the flour is gonna do, as it cooks, it's going to thicken our chicken stock. So let's add the olives, let's add the apricots, let's grab those chicken thighs and slide them right back into our braising liquid. So we're gonna take this, and we're just gonna slide this down into our oven.
So I get my students to think outside of the box by asking them like different prompts. So I'll ask them, what would you do like if you had a piece of paper and I gave you the words aardvark, purple, and George Washington? You gotta draw something that creates or combines those three phrases. You can be as creative as you want or as restrainative as you want, but it gets them to think a little bit outside the box.
So in the kitchen we have what's called the claw technique. So you wanna have a flat surface in between your first and second knuckle. And then you're gonna use that to control the front of your knife, right? So, a little bit of oil, and then you can grab those onions. So just hit it with a pinch of salt, boom. So we're gonna go ginger, carrots, fold some of those peas in there. So a little bit of Ras Al Hanout, a little bit more of that spice, okay?
This school year, I think I'm most excited about the field trip. We have a lot of things that are planned. We're going to do some virtual, some in person, once more museums and places start to, adopt more coronavirus-like procedures. Other than that, I'm really excited to see what the students are going to learn. They get most excited, I would say, about the art lessons, but that's personal bias.
All right, that looks great. All right. So there's our peas and carrots, but we're not quite done with our Moroccan chicken because it needs a little bit of lemon. So, Marquise, you said you're hungry. You ready to try this?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Okay. There you go, sir. Enjoy.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's great.
Sorry, I didn't think. I thought it would come apart a little easier. I should have brought a knife.
That is okay. I've eaten with paint brushes before. Wow, this was a very good experience. I've never eaten an olive except for just now.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That actually makes my day. So Marquise, I mean, you work with the kids on a daily basis. Do you think they could get behind something like this?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
I think olives are, different kind of food for them, but I think they'll try it.
What about your daily experience with the kids? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Day to day, the kids offer a lot of inspiration. I'm trying to be an art teacher. It's what I was going to college for.
Oh, wonderful.
And so anytime I get a chance to influence the lessons with art, I try and do that. And there's always the students like, oh, I don't really know if I want to do this. And then they do it and they embrace it and they enjoy themselves. Right. So I like seeing, positivity and people willing to take risks and try new things.
Right.
The kids are big risk takers for sure.
So this was Moroccan chicken with peas and carrots, a new creative dish that we just came up with. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And don't forget to vote for your favorite dish.
The silent auction and raffle are closing soon. Don't forget to check them out. Every year at Kid Power, we present our Excellence in Leadership Award. This award honors someone that really holds all the ideals of Kid Power, whether it's health and wellness, civic engagement, or academic excellence. And this year, we're doing it a little bit different. We're honoring an organization. This organization took the challenge of this pandemic and really thought big. Instead of shying away, cutting resources, being worried about their own bottom line, this organization is truly shining. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary and are helping our district residents who are the most vulnerable. Every year they serve 400,000 people here in the district, providing critical services. And so today, we are honoring the Capital Area Food Bank, not for just that, not for all they do every single day, but because of what they've done in this challenge. They have expanded their services. They know that there's so many people, children, families, who they can't focus on school closures and academics because the trauma they're facing every day and the food insecurity they're facing every day is real and it's significant. And so Capital Area Food Bank has now come up with 3 creative ways to help community marketplaces, after school meals, and senior programs. All of these 3 innovative ways to continue to expand and serve our amazing young people throughout the district, our families, so that we can all be better and be stronger. So today we are so honored to award the 8th annual Excellence in Leadership Award to the Capital Area Food Bank for going above and beyond and inspiring us that we're stronger together.
Thank you. We're so pleased and proud to be here receiving this honor, particularly in the midst of this most challenging year. I'm Radha Muthaya, and I have the great pleasure of serving as the President and CEO of the Capital Area Food Bank. It goes without saying, but these are extraordinary times. 2020 is the food bank's 40th anniversary year, and over the course of that long history, we've never seen a moment like this. In fact, no one has seen a moment like this. As a result of the pandemic and the economic impacts that have flattened so many industries, hunger and food insecurity in our region are poised to rise by as much as 60% in the coming year. That means that 200,000 more people, in addition to the 400,000 who are already struggling, may now lay awake at night wondering where their family's next meal will come from. It means more calls to our hunger lifeline, like the one we received recently from a mother who had worked cleaning rooms in a hotel. Now with her job cut, she wasn't sure how she would feed her kids that evening. To meet the rising demand for emergency food, we've kicked into an even higher gear than usual, distributing more food than ever before for kids, seniors, and families through the help of an amazing partner network across every sector in our region. In the last few months alone, we've nearly doubled the meals we distributed in the same time period last year, despite the temporary closure of nearly half of the 450 nonprofits to which we provide food. And we've seen the generosity of a community that's come together with actions both large and small to help neighbors experiencing hardship. Yet even as we work to meet today's challenges, we are acutely aware that many of the problems at the core of what we're experiencing right now have been with us since well before COVID-19 struck. Inequity has been deeply etched into our region for years, and the growth our local economy was experiencing pre-pandemic was not benefiting everyone. Households in the top 20% in DC make 29 times the income of those in the bottom 20%. A child born in Southeast DC has a life expectancy that's 30 years lower than that of a child born in Upper Northwest, just 10 miles away. The same inequity is what enables food insecurity to exist and to persist. That is why, for the past few years, the food bank's goals have been twofold: to provide good food to people who need it to thrive today, and also to use that food paired with services provided through partners as a tool to enable brighter futures tomorrow. When paired with job training or health services or education, food can meet an immediate need while also making it easier to get skills or medical care or education that leads to better outcomes and greater opportunity. COVID momentarily slowed some of these initiatives, but as we recover from the crisis, we have an even greater sense of urgency around accelerating this work. We are joining forces with others to get our food distribution networks rebuilt and to engage with new partners, nonprofit, for-profit, and government, to address this old problem in creative new ways. The stakes are just too high not to. The risk in this moment is that the impacts of COVID-19 will deepen the inequities that exist in this region. The challenge now, and quite frankly the opportunity, is to rebuild in ways to ensure that they do not. We know that those at Kid Power share the same concern over the equity gap in our area and the same commitment to creating paths to success for young people. We also know that you understand that food is critical as a building block that enables learning, health, growth, and so many other things that are foundational to that success. That's why I'm so honored for the Capital Area Food Bank to be recognized in this way and to accept this Excellence in Leadership Award on behalf of our entire team. Thank you for underscoring how essential and powerful food is for all of us, and that when every person has the nutrition they need to thrive, incredible things are possible. While there's no denying that these are some of the most challenging times that we may ever encounter, I believe that through the power of our community, we can emerge stronger and more resilient on the other side. By continuing to get people the good food they need today, brighter futures can still await us all, tomorrow and beyond.
Welcome to the Superfood and Eco Cater's Kitchen, Alexa. This is the third course of our meal. We've already done a beautiful carrot soup. Then we did a Moroccan chicken with peas and carrots. And so we're gonna close out the meal with a healthy version of carrot cake. One of my absolute joys is to watch the kids in the kitchen, you know, and I know that you came through the Veggie Time program. Was the food and the kids together part of why you got involved with Kid Power?
Yeah, so I joined Food Corps, and Food Corps placed me with Kid Power, and I did Veggie Time with the kids twice a week after school, and I ended up staying every day after school with Kid Power just because it was so much fun.
Super straightforward recipe. We're literally gonna grind up some dates, some walnuts, some coconut. We got some great spices in there like nutmeg, cinnamon, a little bit of sugar. We're using a Roboku, which is a commercial size, but you can do this in a standard Cuisinart at home. So I'm gonna start there. You can go ahead and add in these ingredients. I'm just gonna pulse it a little bit. So what I wanna do is get it all the same consistency, and it'll end up kind of looking like a little bit like wet sand. Okay, now let's add in our carrots. You can use this spatula if you like. And then we'll give it, and then you can pulse it up a couple more times. Oh, and you know what? Let's give it a squeeze of lemon juice as well. What was a light bulb moment for you when you were working with the kids in the kitchen, you know? What was one of the things that you kind of took away?
It's funny to think of like the different foods that we as adults and just people in general have been introduced to before that they haven't. So part of food core and veggie time is gardening with the kids. And even kids that like weren't really inclined to taste certain things, if they grew it in the garden, they would like totally be down to taste it because they grew it. That was like one of my favorite parts. It's cool to see that you can like use food in every lesson as well. So like division, we used apples and we would just cut apples. We somehow incorporated food in every subject, which was really fun.
So we're gonna take all of this goodness, we're gonna shove it into here. So what we want to do is just get all this and pack it right on in there. And yeah, just get it nice and even, get it smashed down there. You're hired. So we're gonna throw this in the freezer. And we'll grab that in a minute. What we're gonna do in the meantime is make this cashew cream. This stuff is ridiculously good. Let me talk through the ingredients we're putting in here. Those were raw cashews that were soaked. So we soaked them. This is more water, lemon juice. Agave is the only sweetener that we're adding to this whole thing. Vanilla extract. And then the last thing we're adding in is coconut oil. Beautiful. Now, we're just gonna puree. And then I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. And then as it comes together, then I'll really let it go. So you ready to try this cake?
Yeah.
So it doesn't take terribly long in the freezer, because then we can just pop it right on out of there. Look how easy that is, right? So we're just gonna glaze that with this delicious cashew goodness. So I'm a little sloppy with this stuff because I know that I get to eat whatever mess I make. So there we go. A little messy, but we don't care because it's gonna be so delicious.
It's really good.
So it's not too sweet, right? But it is sweet enough for kids. I'm so glad you liked it. I really think that the kids will get a kick out of it and enjoy having carrots for dessert for a change. I just want to say thanks. I know that you found Kid Power through Food Corps and you fell in love with it and you came back and now you're on the advisory board. And so thank you for all the work you've done with the kids and getting the message out into the community that Kid Power really represents, because I really feel like you tell the story well. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So once again, we made raw carrot cake with a cashew cream.
And don't forget to vote for it.
So I hope you've enjoyed your time with Kid Power. I really want to call out a special thanks to our board members. Behind the scenes, your leadership throughout every time, but especially now during the challenges we faced, means more than you can ever know. I'd also like to thank our advisory board members, our folks behind the scenes, Martina, our development director, and Yvette, our amazing office associate and communications associate. They've worked really hard to make this event come true today. So I want to thank them. And as you guys know, at the core of our being, we believe in the power of community building. We are nothing if we're not coming together, sharing our unique ideas so that we can be stronger and make better decisions and really be sustainable. And so every single person, all of our donors and supporters, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We are stronger together. Thank you.